We're 6 months into the pandemic, and of course, you know, and not only that, the social unrest and the racial injustice. And the whole world really is continuing to face that sense of uncertainty. So really the question is, how do we navigate our challenges with, with a calm strength? And the real question is, though, how do we find ways to be able to thrive and flourish? To me, that's the important piece. And that's why I teach, because I love learning about how do I thrive and flourish. So, so today what I want to do is talk about one of the practices that will make your mindfulness practice the most rewarding. And that really is developing a friendly attitude toward yourself. Okay. The people who don't practice or don't develop a kind sense towards themselves won't stick with practicing. So, then what we'll do is a guided meditation on developing kindness for oneself and also compassion. And then if we have any time remaining, because we'll have time for discussion, if we have time remaining, then I'll do just a short talk and then a guided meditation on finding ease within anxiety. Okay. If we don't get to that this week, then I'll make sure we get to it next week. Okay, so I'm going to put up the PowerPoint because I think for visual learners, it's more helpful. So let me do that. And here we go. Yeah, okay, good. I just love this picture because it kind of says it all, with the exception of having a friendly attitude. But is your mind full or mindful? Now that I put that up there, I've forgotten how to, let's see, get to the next. Not there. Aha. It's not working. Maybe down here. We're going to get these technology stuff worked out sooner or later. Oh, there we go. Okay. So the definition of mindfulness as I found it in the Greater Good at Berkeley wellness letter. I'll read the quote of maintaining a moment-by-moment awareness of our thoughts, feelings, body sensations, and the surrounding environment through a gentle, nurturing lens. Okay. And it also involves acceptance, which means that we pay attention to our thoughts and feelings without judging them. And when we practice mindfulness, our thoughts tune into what we're sensing in the present moment rather than rehashing the past or imagining the future. So my definition would be, just in short, is having a friendly curiosity towards what's happening inside ourselves and in the surrounding environment. Okay. So there's 3 components, okay? The first one is paying attention, and you're developing concentration there. And the second one is you choose an object to pay attention to, and usually that's the breath or a body sensation. And the third is your attitude towards your practice. So I'll break that down and talk about two of them today: the object of focus and the attitude. So the object that we choose to focus on, as I said, is either the breath or body sensations. And we use the body is because the body's always present. So if you want to know if you're present in the moment, pay attention to your body. Then your mind is on what's happening right now. Okay. And also the body's less complicated than thoughts and emotions. So, and as we practice over time and as concentration power increases, then we can add in paying attention to and witnessing thoughts or emotions. And it can be helpful to imagine training the mind like you were training a puppy. You tell the puppy to stay, and it immediately wanders away and follows something else. So you tell the mind to stay on your object of choice, and of course, it's going to wander away because it doesn't know what you want, just like a puppy doesn't know what you want. So what do? You go and you pick up the puppy very kindly, and you puppy back if you want the puppy to stay. It's like that's the idea of having a friendly attitude towards your mind. When your mind wanders, you simply bring it back, very kind, with gentle kindness. And in fact, that can even be the noticing that your mind wandered can be a cause for mild celebration. Because in the beginning, that's really what meditation is about, is noticing when your mind wanders, okay? Over and over and over and over. And I think this picture kind of shows you just gradually we pay attention better and better until we're able to keep the mind where we want it for as long as we want it. Okay. So in the interim, guided meditations can be very helpful because they actually support developing a wise relationship to our thoughts and emotions. So it's a combination of the mind and the heart, which then in the middle we have the wise mind. It's like wisdom and compassion combined. Okay. So, as I said earlier, a friendly attitude towards our practice is what keeps us practicing. It's what will keep us to stick to it. Okay. And so, as Kristen Neff, who's the author of the book Self-Compassion and also a professor at University of Texas, she says, treat yourself as you would a good friend. The only problem is that we tend to treat others better than we treat ourselves. And I'll quote Rick Hansen, who's a neuropsychologist and the author of the book Resilience. As he says, our nervous systems are designed to be changed by our experiences, and more so our negative ones, especially the ones that happened in our childhood. So it's normal to internalize the way our caregivers treated us. And if it included ignoring, belittling, or punishing our softer feelings, then we treat ourselves the same way. So it's helpful to know that self-criticism is persistent, but with practice, always reminding ourselves to be kind, practicing maybe guided meditations that are on compassion, loving kindness, it weakens. And eventually it becomes, well, not so troublesome, or not troublesome at all, as a matter of fact. So now read the line in the song Anthem by Leonard Cohen. Ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. Isn't that a wonderful statue? So, and the idea of being a good friend and being your own best friend. Is to imagine when you're feeling down, how would I treat a friend if they were having the same experience, if they were having the same challenges, and you would treat them with empathy and encouragement and kindness. So it's to remember to offer that to ourselves. So maybe take a moment right now to just reflect on what your attitude towards yourself has been even earlier today or in the last couple of days. So I'll just give you a moment to maybe close your eyes for a moment and just go inside and see. Just ask yourself, what's been my attitude towards myself today? Okay. I guess what I want to leave you with before we do a guided meditation is that it's important to find and create ways to be kind to yourself. I found this great article, 18 Simple Ways to Keep a Positive Attitude at Work. And that's the link. And if you want, and you can't capture it now, send me an email and I'll send you the link to it. Or just write down 18 simple ways to keep a positive attitude at work. At any rate, they had several ideas that I thought were really good. And two of my favorites were to choose a phrase like, may I be happy, or I'm okay, or you're okay, honey, or choose a phrase that you would use when you know you're down, when you know things, you failed at something, or you're not feeling good, or you're facing a challenge. And the other thing they suggested is to fake it till you make it, which I would just say simply, if you're not feeling a particular emotion that you want to feel, then create it in your mind by remembering something in the past that brought that feeling up, and create it in your body. And so if you stay with it, then it will show up, especially if you get to know how it feels in your body. So let's practice then creating an attitude of friendly towards whatever's happening inside ourselves. So I'll start by ringing the bell, and I'm going to stop sharing. Here we go. And if you would like, while we're doing the guided meditation, if you want to either maybe turn the lights down in your room, or even you can turn off your camera, whatever feels the most comfortable for you. Okay. And I'll start by ringing the bell. So this guided meditation is sort of an adaptation from guided meditation given by Tara Brach, and also by Rick Hanson in his book called Resilience. So the first thing we want to do then is, if you take a few deep breaths, and then slow the breath down. And perhaps bringing awareness to the face, and relaxing the muscles of the face, softening the eyes. Knowing that if the eyes are moving, then the mind is thinking in images. Seeing if you can keep the eyes still for just a moment. And you can do this whether the eyes are open or closed. And then becoming aware of the tongue and the mouth. Knowing that if the tongue is moving, then we're thinking in words. You can relax the tongue all the way down to its root. And allow the brow to widen. And as you scan through the body, if there's any areas where there's tension, to invite the body to relax. Moving down through the neck. Noticing at first, is the throat open or closed or contracted? And down into the shoulders, allowing the shoulders to drop down and back. Softening the belly, letting the belly hang over the belt. You're becoming aware of the support of the chair under your torso, holding you up. Aware of that support. And inviting relaxation in the legs. The feet. And then just scanning through the body. And if there's any areas of tension still there, you may want to tighten that area up so that you can get more of a sense of the tension and then release it. And feel that sinking kind of feeling as you release it. And using the image of a smile helps to create an attitude of kindness. There's one neuroscientific study. The researcher came to the conclusion that smiling tricks the brain into believing that humor is happening. So let's explore this together. As if you were sensing a smile spreading through your eyes. Imagine a smile out through the eyes, with the outer corners of the eyes slightly uplifted. And the flesh around the eyes softening. Let your brow be smooth. And feel a real yet slight smile now. Relaxing the jaw. Notice the sensations that arise around the mouth and the cheek area. And you might want to feel the smile spraying through the heart and the chest, sort of filling the whole body with a sense of smile. Creating a relaxed, open atmosphere for the changing flow of sensations. And now bring to mind a time where you were on somebody's side. Perhaps a child that you were protecting, or a friend you were encouraging, or an aging parent with health issues. Just recall what this felt like in your body, in the set of your shoulders, in the expression on your face. Recall some of your thoughts and feelings, perhaps caring, determination, even a fierce intensity. A moment to imagine this time that you are on somebody's side. And then, knowing what it's like to be on someone's side, apply this attitude to yourself. Get a sense of being an ally to yourself. Someone who will look out for you, help, and protect you. Recognize your rights and that your needs matter. Take a moment now to get that sense of being an ally to yourself. It's normal if other reactions come up, such as feeling unworthy. Just notice and disengage from them. And then come back to the sense of wishing yourself well. Focusing on this experience and stay with it for just a couple of more minutes. Bring to mind times when you were really on your own side. Perhaps you were encouraging yourself during a tough period of work, or speaking up to someone who hurt you. Get a sense of what that was like. Notice how it felt in your body, what emotions came up. Remember the thoughts, such as it's only there for others to help to. Stay with this experience and let it fill your mind. Know what it's like to be committed to your own well-being. Let the feelings, thoughts, and intentions of being a true friend to yourself sink in, becoming a part of you. Developing compassion for yourself. Bring to mind that you have felt cared about by people, either a pet or spiritual beings in your life today or in your past. Any kind of caring counts, such as times you were included, seen, appreciated, liked, or loved. Relax and open yourself to feeling cared about. Stay with these feelings and sense them sinking in like water into a sponge. And then think about one or more people that you have compassion for. Perhaps a child in pain, a friend going through a divorce, or refugees on the other side of the world. Get a sense of their burdens, worries, or suffering. And feel your warm-heartedness, a sympathetic concern. You could put a hand on your heart and have such thoughts as, may your pain ease. May you find work. May you get through this illness. Give yourself over to compassion, letting it fill you and flow through you. feeling. Just stay with that feeling for just a couple more breaths. Knowing what compassion feels like, apply it to yourself. Recognize any way you feel stressed, tired, ill, mistreated, or unhappy. Then bring compassion to yourself as you would to a friend who felt like you do. We all know that everyone suffers and that you're not alone in your pain. Perhaps place a hand on your heart or your cheek, depending on what has happened. You could think, may I not suffer. May these hurt feelings pass. May I not worry so much. Imagine compassion like a gentle, warm rain coming down into you, touching and soothing any parts that are weary or longing or hurting. Touching and soothing. And to end, I'll ring the bell. So, anybody want to share what came up for you during that guided meditation or even during the presentation? So everybody looks very relaxed.
I just had a very deep relaxation that really was very helpful, I thought. Very healing.
Oh, good. Good. Yeah. And it really is helpful to imagine how it feels in the body so you get a sense of the sensations, because that's something concrete that you can recall and go back to. Like, how does that feel? Yes. The more we practice it, then it just happens automatically. So, yeah. Aline, you have a lovely smile on. So,
Thank you. It's nice to be reminded to smile. This is a very tough month.
yeah. Yeah. I know, it's been a year, huh?
Well, his yort site is Thursday. I don't know if people know what a yort site is.
No, I don't either.
Okay. The Jewish calendar changes. It's different from the Gregorian calendar, and so the 23rd day of Av falls on the 13th of August. And next year, I think it will fall on the 1st of August.
Mm-hmm.
And so on Thursday, I will light a Yortzeit candle, which will burn for 24 hours, and I will say the Mourner's Kaddish. And then the 24th of the month is the anniversary, and I'll do it again.
Yeah.
But my family is coming up. My brother and his family is coming up on the 22nd, and Bill's family is coming over on the 24th.
Oh, good. Good. I'm glad you'll have support. Yeah. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Aline's husband and my friend died a year ago. So, yeah. And the thing about smiling, I mean, I love that idea that when we smile, it tricks the brain into believing that humor is happening. And you know, the truth is, if I sit with a smile on my face, it actually does change how I feel. The important thing is to remember that. And I know they even did studies where they took and put pencils in people's mouths so that they had to have the muscles of their cheeks, in a smile. They were forced to be smiling. And then they stuck their hands in hot water, and then they tested the amount of cortisol that the brain was producing, or in their saliva, I think, or whatever. But anyway, it really did show that it reduced the amount of stress that they experienced when they had a smile on, as opposed to not. So even if fake it till you make it really works in this particular case. Yeah.
No, I think that's one of the hardest part now about wearing a mask is that you don't smile at people.
Yeah.
If you do, you can't see it. You try to smile and you think, oh, why did I do that? Because nobody can see it anyway. Sometimes you can kind of see it in the eyes.
Yeah.
But, so often when you're in a building, you turn away from people
Right.
instead of turning towards them to protect
Right.
yourself or to protect them.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's been really hard not to be able to smile at people.
Yeah. I agree with you. Kit, you want to say something? You got to unmute yourself. Kit, yeah.
There's a
I
video,
found oh, go ahead.
there's a video circulating on Facebook.
Mhm.
And I is in an elevator. He's looking at his iPad and he's smiling and he's laughing hilariously at something on his iPad. The other people in the elevator do not know what he's laughing at, but they begin to smile when they see.
Yeah.
And he tries this in different situations. He's on a subway and he's looking at his iPad. And when he's got the whole car laughing and just having the greatest time.
Isn't that wonderful? Yeah.
And so nobody knows what they're laughing at, but they see this guy that's so happy.
And they join it. Yeah. Yeah.
Laughter is contagious.
What's that?
Laughter is contagious.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Yeah, it is. I remember walking in this room once when our kids were little, and Emily was sitting on the couch and she was laughing. And I said, "Why are you laughing?" She said, "Because it feels good." Yeah, that's wonderful. Just because it feels good. So, someday maybe we'll do the smile meditation. I remember we've done that before. That's really fun. So, okay. Anybody else want to share anything? Any questions? Okay. So maybe we should move on.
I just had, Donna's has a picture on her Facebook, and it's a little girl holding a wand with a red star on it, and she's bending over a doll bed outside. And she's tucking in a little stuffed animal in the bed. And that came up when I was meditating. To me, that was just so darling.
I think that I posted that because of what it said, not the picture, but yeah, that is a sweet picture. And I don't remember what it said, but yeah. Yeah. So that came up while you were meditating. How lovely. So, okay. Yes.
Donna, in your slideshow, you have one slide with 2 definitions of mindfulness.
Yeah. Yep.
Would you mind sharing that again, either sending it out by email or perhaps putting it on the screen again?
I can put it on the screen. Sure.
Tell me again how the screen said in a Mac.
In a Mac, Command
Yeah.
Shift 4.
I'll try that.
Okay. Let's see if this works. I got to go all the way back here. Let me use that. There it is.
Okay, I'm going to give it a try here.
If not, I'll send it out.
I don't know if that worked or not. I can't tell.
So you do Command Shift and 4, and then you've got to slide it over, and then you'll hear it click. It sounds like it's taking a picture.
No. Oh,
Okay.
wait a minute.
You'll have to experiment with it. It takes a little while, a little practice.
Okay.
But anyway, I will send it to you, so
All right, thank you.
sure. Okay, so we have some time left. And if you guys are interested in using an app, 10% Happier has an app on the iPhone or Android, and they give you a guided meditation every day. But also, Dan Harris, who's the sort of founder of he wrote the book 10% Happier, and he is the what do I say, the ABC news anchor on weekends, and he's also a zealot for practicing meditation and mindfulness. So anyway, one of the guided meditations that they did and talked about was, how do we find ease in the midst of uncertainty? And somebody asking a question? No, okay. So would everybody keep yourself muted for right now so we don't have the feedback too? Thank you. So anyway, I mean, anxiety is pretty common right now. And the problem is that we're not well wired to deal with uncertainty. And as Stephen Porges, a neuroscientist, says, that constant change is, as he says, the brain always wants to know what's going to happen next. That's how we feel safe. And, but the thing is that constant change is the way it always is. Right now, because of all the social unrest, because of COVID, you know, it just becomes more obvious that it's more difficult to deal with because there's so much, everything is changing so fast. So we can resist that everything's changing, that all of our thoughts and emotions pass. As we sit in meditation, we see how quickly things change. We see how quickly a thought arises and passes away, how quickly an emotion arises and passes away. So we can either fight that, or we can just simply relax into it. I'll read you a short story by Ajaz Chan. The glass is already broken is the name of the story. He says, "You see this goblet? For me, this glass is already broken. I enjoy it. I drink out of it. It holds my water admirably, sometimes even reflecting the sun's beautiful patterns. When I tap it, it has a lovely ring. But when I put this glass on the shelf and the wind knocks it over, or my elbow brushes it off the table and it falls to the ground and shatters, I say, of course. When I understand that the glass is already broken, every moment with it is precious." So that can be very helpful to remember. Every moment that we have is gone in the next instant. So, and as the Dalai Lama says, awareness of impermanence and appreciation of our human potential will give us a sense of urgency that we must use every precious moment. So what meditation does is allow us to relax into this situation. Yes, Carol?
Would you please repeat that definition of the Dalai Lama's?
Sure. Awareness of impermanence and appreciation of our human potential will give us a sense of urgency that we must use every precious moment.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so let's have a guided meditation on finding ease amidst uncertainty. By the way, I think, and I haven't learned it yet, but you can tell me if this works, but my understanding is that somehow when there's a loud noise, then Zoom turns it off so you don't get to hear the 3 bells. Have you guys been able to hear the 3 bells?
One.
Just one, yeah. You hit three, so, okay. Yeah, I know there's a way to work with that, so I'm gonna have to learn, so, yeah. Okay. I'll just hit it once then, for this time.
Oh.
Carol, I think you're unmuted, so. So again, let's relax and come into the body. Slowing down, shifting our attention from outside to inside. Relaxing into change and uncertainty is an exercise in courage and helps us feel a little more easeful. There's a saying that you can't stop the waves from coming, but you can learn to surf. As we grow in awareness and wisdom, we can see that greater ease comes from allowing life to unfold, not resisting circumstances. We develop patience. As we learn to trust ourselves, we can find ease in the midst of uncertainty. And if you might want to check, because some people may still be unmuted, make sure that you are muted, okay? So bringing awareness to what it feels right now to be you. How does it feel in your body? What is the state of your mind? Is it calm and settled? Or is it busy or worried, tired, or excited? Just beginning to notice what's present for you right now. Allowing the body to relax, softening the face. Mindfulness is to recognize the present moment as it is. And when we do, it supports and strengthens awareness in each moment. Recognizing our posture and our breath. When we are aware, we're able to learn about our habitual reactions that may not serve us so well. The reactions of fear, anxiety, worry, and the tendency to control. One of the biggest triggers of these reactions is uncertainty. We don't know when our next sickness or misfortune will happen. Will we lose our partner, our job? We don't know how our kids or our parents will do today. On a larger scale, we don't know how the world or the climate is going to turn out. Uncertainty is a part of this. Moment to moment, the world is changing. Just take a moment to consider this. It's easy to live with the illusion of control. If we just do the right thing, say the right thing, or control enough, things will all work out. They may, but not because of our fear or our anxiety, or just because we want them to. As you continue being aware, consider that uncertainty is a natural part of life. Sensations arise and pass away. Thoughts and emotions arise and pass away. Think of something that you're currently facing that's outcome is uncertain. At work, with your family or your friends. Take a moment to feel into this uncertainty. Is it okay to rest in the uncertainty of how things will turn out? Being with uncertainty often calls for courage because it frequently stirs up the challenging emotions of anxiety and worry, fear, or the need to control. And it also calls for patience. One way to accept this unknowing is to turn towards anxiety, towards the fear. You can even recognize the resistance toward these feelings. Take some time now to notice any feelings that might be present with a sense of curiosity, not to fix or change, but to be aware of it, to receive with acceptance and patience, or turn towards any tightening up or contracting, towards anything that might be present, not to fix or change, but to be aware of it and to receive it with interest. Uncertainty often triggers us to think about what might happen, all the things that could go wrong. It's about a future event or a future moment. But what is actually happening in the moment is that fear and worry have arisen. And it's these feelings that we actually find uncomfortable around uncertainty. When we open to the feelings, we see that uncertainty is just a not knowing, a loosening of the need for certainty. Consider the possibility of being aware of the doubt or the fear, opening to the worry that uncertainty triggers. Are these okay to feel, knowing that being aware of them is different than being caught in them? Knowing that being aware of them is different than being caught in them. As you move into the rest of your day, see if you can find moments when uncertainty triggers a need for control or when fear and anxiety take over. Identifying these patterns allows us to shift from fearing uncertainty to recognizing that life just as it is. though the brain wants to know what's going to happen next. We can relax, and we can train it to recognize that when fear and other challenging emotions arise, it can't be other than it is, because it's already happening. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, if they've been closed, and orient to the space around you. And as Henry Wadsworth Longfellow says, for after all, the best thing one can do when it's raining is let it rain. So I'll just ring the bell once. So does anybody want to unmute and share your experience and how that was for you? This, by the way, this guided meditation was on the 10% Happier app.
I have a question about that app.
Mm-hmm.
I have two different ones.
Uh-huh. The summer sanity and just 10%.
Well, there's 10% happy. All I can see is 10% hap, find calm, insight. They both say that.
Oh, well then,
But the bottom one
I
says
think,
annual membership.
yeah, I think one of them you pay $10 a month for.
Okay.
That's the one that this one came from. And then the other one, I think, is free right now because of COVID. So you'll find out when you hit get, and then you'll find out if you have to pay. You decide. Yeah. But you also, Dan Harris does a podcast from ABC podcast every Wednesday, and he interviews all of the leaders and teachers of meditation. And so if you're interested in learning more about uncertainty, he recently did one with Guy Armstrong on impermanence, on emptiness and impermanence. So it goes very deep. But the cool thing about Dan Harris is he has, what do I want to say, sort of normal language. It doesn't sound esoteric. And if it sounds esoteric, then he points that out and says, so what? So I really appreciate him. Anybody else want to share how the guided meditation was for you, or anything?
Good.
Yes, is that Jock? You're muted, Jock. No, okay.
Oh, I'm good, thanks.
Oh, okay. Nice to see you. Okay. Well, Ginny, this was your first time with us. I hope you got something out of it and enjoyed it.
I did. I enjoyed it very much. I really have to leave, though. My neighbor is waiting for me for something. So
Okay.
I will see you next week.
Yes.
Thank you.
Showing up, sure. So if nobody else wants to share anything, I'll end with a poem. Looks like Carol might want to say something. No? Okay. I'm going to end with a poem. Let's see if I can screen share this now. It's down here. The title of the poem is When This Is Over.
Mhm.
When this is over, may we never again take for granted a handshake with a stranger, conversations with neighbors, a crowded theater, Friday night out, a reunion at the senior center or the cruise ship or Connecticut, a routine checkup, the school rush each morning, coffee with a friend, the stadium roaring, each deep breath, a boring Tuesday, life itself. When this ends, may we find that we have become more like the people we wanted to be. We were called to be. We hope to be. And may we stay that way, better for each other because of the worst.
That's lovely.
Thank you all. for showing up.
Thank you, Don.
Enjoy
you.
community. I appreciate it immensely, and I love seeing all your faces. So,
Thank you
blessings.
very much.
Have
Thank
a
you.
wonderful week. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Donna,
Yeah,
are you still doing each session on YouTube?
I will, but my computer broke. So as soon as I get my computer back, then I will.
Okay, you'll let us know.
I will. Yep, I'll
Okay.
send out an email for sure.
Thank you for today, Donna.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Blessings. Bye-bye now.
I know.